Hello, my beautiful intuitive butterflies, and welcome to this very special recording made especially in honor of the new moon partial solar eclipse in Scorpio that is going to be coming up this week. So, in honor of this very special event, I thought that I would cover a couple of little really quick facts about what's coming up. And as well, I'm going to try something new, something that I've never done before. And I'm going to give a reading for each one of the astrological signs, specifically directed towards upcoming energies during this new moon eclipse. So, without any further ado, this new moon eclipse is happening in Scorpio. One of the things that this represents is a time for releasing, specifically releasing karmic energy, things that we've built up not only in this lifetime, but also karmic energies from past lifetimes. So at this time, right now, with the energies that are coming in, secrets have the potential to kind of bubble to the surface right now. So you are being asked to really, truly live in authenticity, which means communication is really important. And one of the reasons that communication is going to be really, really important in the coming week is not only do we have this new moon partial solar eclipse, but 3 days after that, we have Mercury going retrograde again. And as we all know, when Mercury is retrograde, communications are affected, both electronic communications as well as face-to-face communications. And the opportunity for miscommunication and misunderstandings gets really big. So if you've got a really big karmic load kind of trailing behind you, the image that comes to mind, I think it was, which Peanuts character was it from the Charlie Brown cartoons? One of the characters used to walk around and he had all of this dirt that would always just kind of follow him around. If you've got that in your karma and you've got this dust pile that just keeps following you around, or like little Abner, the cartoon from ages ago, who used to walk around and he always had the rain cloud above his head. If you've got that right now, this new moon is your opportunity to release. So normally new moons are a great time for us to have a ritual or a ceremony to release that which no longer serves us. And normally on a full or on a new moon, we would also perform something for manifesting, because as the moon turns its corner, the light begins to return, which is an indication that it's time to also bring something in. However, when we have an eclipse, it actually reverses. This is the simplest way to put it. I mean, there's so much more to it, but this is the simplest way to kind of explain it. When we have an eclipse, either on a full moon or on a new moon, it actually reverses the energy. So normally on a full moon, we do rituals to both manifest as well as release, but typically the real drive or the real concentration would be to release on a full moon, because then the light is being taken away, which means the energies are being taken away. And on a new moon, normally we would conduct a ceremony or a ritual in order to be able to bring something into us, because as the light of the moon gets brighter, then it's also shining a light upon that which we want to manifest. But the eclipse reverses that energy. So right now is going to be an amazing time to cast a spell, have a ritual, have a ceremony, set your intentions. However you manifest, right now is an amazing time for you to be able to release. Let it go. Let that karma go. Let that little rain cloud that follows you around go. It's no longer serving your highest good. Let it go. Especially, like I said, with Mercury going retrograde again late this week coming up. Let it all go, because we want to create that atmosphere or that environment for clear communications. All right. So without any further ado, like I said, this is going to be my first time doing something like this. So for each of the astrological signs, I'm going to pull a card, maybe two, depends on how many come out while I'm shuffling the deck. And I'm going to do a reading for each of the signs. I will put timestamps in, so check the description for the timestamps. And without any further ado, let's start with Aries. I do have notes here so that I don't get lost and end up doing, you know, one of the signs twice and forgetting one altogether. So let's tap into the energy of Aries under this new moon eclipse. What does Aries need to know? All right, and I'm going to lift these up so that you can see while I'm shuffling. Unfortunately, my desk is not wide enough. See that card sticking up there? Aries. Ooh, Aries. What you need to know. Okay. Under this new moon eclipse, your card is the Master. And for all of these readings, I will be using the Osho Zen Tarot. So please enjoy. No, there is no affiliate links. There is no money being exchanged. This is just the deck that I prefer to use for this reading. Okay, for Aries, you have the Master. This card is actually not corresponding to anything in the traditional tarot. It is an additional card in the Osho Zen deck. So Aries, this card means that you are the master of your own destiny underneath this new moon eclipse. It's an indication that right now is a great time for you to really, really get clear on what you want to let go of, what you want to manifest, whether that means, you know what, scribbling down a whole bunch of notes, whether that means painting a painting of the picture that you want to manifest. No matter what that means, Aries, right now is your moment. It's your moment to become the master of your own destiny. Now, the opposite side of this for you, Aries, is that as the master of your own destiny, it means you also have to take responsibility. You must take responsibility for your actions and for what comes into your life and what walks out of your life. Being the master is about finding that balance between the light and the dark, the day and the night, the sun and the moon, whatever you want to call it, the yin and the yang. There is a balance. And what's coming up for me, Aries, is that as the master, you are responsible for everything that comes up in your life. Okay. So right now is a great time for you to manifest, but also take responsibility. Okay. So Aries, I'm going to leave that with you. We're going to clear out the deck a little bit, give it a little shuffle, and we're going to move on to Taurus. What do the Taurus in the audience need to hear or know under this new moon? Oh, don't know if you can see there, but we've got some cards that flipped right over. So, all right. So for Taurus, the card that has come up for you is Source. Source energy, Source action. This is the card of fire, okay, being the red down in the bottom there. So Taurus, what you are being asked to pay attention to this new moon eclipse is your connection to Source, as well as your connection to Mother Earth, as well as taking whatever action is necessary. Now, something that's coming up for me intuitively is, you know, there's a picture of a very bright sun here. There is a lot of environmental activism going on in the world. I would like to ask that anyone who's watching this at any time know that this is not concrete, solid advice. I am not telling you to go out and do anything. I'm not telling you to not do something in your life. This is the cards and Creator speaking through me, and take it how it resonates with you. These are general readings. Okay, so when the Source card comes up, it is calling for action. It's calling for you to make that connection to your source, to your divine energy, whatever that may be. While at the same time, making sure that you are keeping your feet firmly planted on Mother Earth and keeping that connection. One of the other things that's coming up for me, Taurus, is, yeah, this is just coming up intuitively. I'm going to pull one more card for clarification on the Source card for you. But intuitively, I am being asked to remind you to hold your families tight right now. Keep that connection with your family. There is something there. Not that one, this one. Is that one? Yeah, maturity. Right. Okay. So with this Source card, it means that there's a lot of power and energy around you right now, Taurus. There's a lot of capacity there right now for you to be able to manifest what you want. But the clarifying card that came up for you with this Source card is the maturity card. And so the message is that with great power also comes great responsibility. And so you're being asked to bring a sense of maturity into whatever it is that you do. I do apologize if this reading goes a little bit off. I have not done something like this before, so excuse me if it's a little bit wonky at times. It is a little bit overwhelming to tap into so many energies all at the same time. But so the message for you right now, Taurus, is that you have a great connection to the source. You have a great connection to Mother Earth. This is an opportunity for you to be able to manifest, but with that responsibility, the ability to be able to tap into source to manifest, you also need to temper that with maturity, because like I said, with great power comes responsibility. And so use your maturity. The saying that's coming up for me is be careful what you wish for, Taurus. Okay. All right, let's move on to Gemini. All right, welcome, Geminis. I will just say one more time, this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I didn't say this at the beginning of the video, so therefore I am reiterating it now for each of the signs. Okay, Gemini, under this new moon eclipse. Woo! All right, we have a card that's actually jumped out for us. The Patience card, Gemini. Gemini, the twins. You have the Patience card. Okay, so this card, you'll notice that we've got the phases of the moon up near the top. We also have a representation of a goddess, being a female, who is very, very much pregnant. So this card for you, Geminis, is letting you know that under this new moon, solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, you are manifesting something. You are about to bring something into this world. There is an idea or something that you have formulated that you have been gestating for some time. And you're being reminded that there is a phase for everything. So you're being asked not to birth your idea too soon right now. That's why this card represents patience. Okay. So for those of you under the sign of Gemini, for this new moon solar eclipse, you're being reminded to practice patience. Don't just put your idea out there into the world because it's not quite ready yet. It needs a little bit longer to gestate. Okay. That one was a little bit easier than Taurus's reading. Taurus's reading kind of went all over the place. I apologize. Okay. So for the overall message for Gemini is the idea that you have is amazing. It's wonderful. It's beautiful, but it needs a little bit longer in the womb. So although maybe your intention was to birth that idea sometime around this new moon eclipse, this card is asking you to wait a little bit longer, maybe wait another phase of the moon. I'm not sure the length of time, but definitely practice patience. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you. We're going to move on to the sign of Cancer. And just in case you've just clicked on the timestamps, let me remind you that these are general readings. Take them how they resonate with you. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And what does Cancer need to know under this new moon partial solar eclipse? Awareness. Awareness. Okay, this is for Cancer. For those Cancers in the greater world out there, this is what you need to know. Okay, so you'll notice on this card that there's kind of a shadow in behind the character, and the shadow is in that physical form or state that we would associate with distress or discomfort. You know, they're like, ah. And yet from within that, there's this beautiful figure beginning to emerge. So as I mentioned at the very beginning, if you watch the introduction to this, under this new moon, Cancer, under this new moon, it's an opportunity for us to leave the past in the past. It belongs back there, okay? Leave the karma behind. Leave the crap behind, okay? Okay, what's coming up for me is to talk a little bit about relationships for you for just a moment, Cancer. So, Cancer, just because your last 3 exes, for example, this is just hypothetically speaking, just because your last 3 exes cheated on you, doesn't mean you need to bring that karmic energy forward or that belief forward that they're all going to cheat, because they're not. You can change that energy. You can manifest something different. And this card is bringing that awareness to you. I said earlier to one of the other signs that you have the ability to manifest that which you want in your life. But in so doing, you have to take responsibility that what you have in your life, you manifested, if that makes sense. So bringing that awareness to you right now, that you manifest, like in the example of, let's say, cheating exes, okay? As hard as the pill is to swallow, that we manifest everything into our lives, including cheating spouses or cheating partners. We manifest that because clearly there is a lesson for us to learn in that, right? Maybe the lesson is not allowing that person to walk on us for a longer period of time when we finally realize what the person's doing, to leave and not allow them to do it 2 or 3 times more before we actually walk out the door. Do you see what I'm saying? And when we actually come into our own power and we're able to leave a cheating spouse or partner behind like that, no more, nope, you done me wrong once, I'm not allowing you to do it again. Then the lesson is learned, that karmic attachment is broken, and we can move forward and go into a relationship where our new partner never even bats an eyelash at another person because they are so absolutely dedicated to you. When we have that awareness around us, when we see repetitive patterns in our past, we have to know we are manifesting those repetitive patterns. And once we learn the lesson, those repetitive patterns stop coming up for us. And so that's the awareness for you Cancers out there. That's the awareness that you're being called to pay attention to under this new moon and partial solar eclipse. Okay. So explore that a little bit, sit with that a little bit, see what repetitive patterns are coming up in your past. And once you're made aware of it, quite often things disappear too, right? Once we shine a light on a shadow, the shadow disappears. Okay. All right. I'm checking my list. We're moving on to the Leos out there. All right. What does Leo need to know? We've got a card sticking up there. What does Leo need to know? Receptivity, Leo. What a beautiful card. Okay. So this card is for the Leos out there under this new moon, partial solar eclipse. Please take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind, as these are general readings. Okay. So Leo, receptivity. This card is about not only seeing what's going on around us, but actually having the opportunity to be able to integrate some of what's going on around us and being receptive to it. How do I put this? Because there's a lot of information coming in for me, Leos, about how to explain the receptivity, but I want to do it in a sort of short, concise way that will be easy to not only understand, but also integrate in the short term. Okay. When we look at this card, we notice there's kind of the shadow of a human figure here. Okay. And they're able to bring energy up and out, and these go out in all different directions. they are also, if we look at it, some of the energy is coming back in. So for you Leos out there, this card is asking you to not only recognize that what you put out also comes back, and be receptive to that. Be open to receiving that which you put out also comes back. Receptivity is, it is another karma card, and this theme of karma has come up numerous times in the readings today, Leos, and you can go back and listen to some of the other signs as well, and you'll notice that karma is this common theme. What we put out comes back to us. Leo, I'm also picking up for you that there is a blockage that's happening. Maybe this blockage, the realization that the word that keeps coming up is the butterfly effect. What you do affects other people. I just want to put that out there, Leo. There's not a whole lot else I can say, but definitely under this new moon, under this partial solar eclipse, there's definitely an energy of wanting to bring your awareness to the fact that what you do, what you put out there, is affecting other people. Be receptive to that, right? So if you're putting a lot of generosity out there, then generosity is going to come back to you. Maybe not right now. Maybe not right now in this moment, but it ultimately will come back. So yeah, just remember the butterfly effect. That's all that keeps coming up with this card for you, Leo. So I'm going to leave that with you. That was a kind of a confusing one. All right, let's move on to the Virgos. What does Virgo need to know? What energies does Virgo need to be made aware of under this coming new moon? Okay, that still didn't pop out. Okay, there's a card for the Virgos. Flowering. Aw, my beautiful Virgos out there. Okay, so this card is letting you know that that which you've put out there, the manifestations you've called into your life, are like right there. They're coming to fruition. They are starting to bloom. The seeds that you've planted quite some time ago are coming up. They're almost, they're ready to open. The buds are there and they're fresh and they're ready to go. This is a really, really positive card for the Virgos out there. Okay. Now, the one thing that I do want to say that just came on intuitively for the Virgos is that the saying, be careful what you wish for, comes up to a certain degree. Virgos, under this new moon, this partial solar eclipse, oh, there's a dove that just came in. Flowering is the energy that you're being called to. You're being told that the energies that you put out there in order to be able to manifest that which you want in your life are coming to fruition. But the caveat to that comes up, be careful what you wish for, because we know that sometimes We have this beautiful little bud on a plant, and it's gorgeous and it's beautiful. And then the flower bursts forth, and the flower isn't what we expected. The flower is still, by all means, absolutely gorgeous and a miracle of nature and this planet that we live on, but it's not what we expected. If we plant 100 seeds and we think that they're all going to be white flowers, and then a purple flower and a blue flower pop up in the middle, are the purple flowers and blue flowers any less beautiful than the white flowers? No, absolutely not. They're unexpected, but they're still beautiful. So what I'm saying for you, my Virgos out there with this card, is that your manifestations are coming to fruition. Watch for that under this new moon, but they may appear as flowers that you weren't expecting. So just be aware of that. Okay. All right. Who is next? Libra. All right. Clear the cards here a little bit. What do the Libras in the audience need to know under this new moon? Libra. All right. We have the exhaustion card for you. Okay. You'll notice on this card that the character has a lot of things going on. It's a very, very busy card. He is building things. He's got a lot of tools around him. There's a lot of clutter around. This card is an indication for my Libras. You got too much going on. You're being pulled in too many directions. It is time under this moon for you to release, let go. That means both releasing and letting go of past energy and karmic stuff. But I'm also picking up, normally when this card comes up, it's also because there is too much physical stuff in our lives. It's not just, this card isn't just a representation that there is too much emotional baggage going on in our lives. This card also represents that we have too much physical crap in our lives. So this is a time for you to maybe purge, get rid of some stuff that is no longer, clean out your kitchen cupboards. Where did that come from? Clean out your kitchen cupboards, clean out the closets. When you, a lot of people in the Northern Hemisphere, as we're going into the winter months, and a lot of people in the Southern Hemisphere, as they're going into the summer months, are in the process of changing their clothing, changing their closets around, right? Pull out the winter clothes, get them ready, maybe clean them up a little bit. They might have a little bit of a musty smell from being in storage for the summer months. Same thing for those in the Southern Hemisphere, as you're pulling your summer clothing out of the closet and you're putting your winter stuff away. Pay close attention to the stuff that you have. Because if your child, for example, you got 2 jackets for your child, but your child is 6. By the time your child is 7, when the next season rolls around, that stuff's not going to fit them anymore. Get rid of it, because all it's doing is weighing you down. A lot of people don't realize that physical stuff and clutter can actually bring their energetic levels down. So that's what I'm picking up for you here, Libra, that under this new moon and partial eclipse is a time for you to just let go. Now, there was a second card attached to this card when I turned it over, and that is the totality card. And you'll notice in this card, you have 2 people performing an act, and one of them actually, sorry, there's 3 people performing the act, and the one person in the middle has to have trust. They are all in. They have to trust that when they let go of one, that the other one's going to catch them. Okay. So for the Libras out there, trust in getting rid of stuff. It's about totality. It's about going all in. Let it go. It's just stuff, right? Remember I said, as much as this card may be about letting go of some emotional stuff, it's more about letting go of the physical stuff that you have in your life, the crap that you have in your house that is just weighing you down. I keep getting images of like houses that, you know, you walk in the front door and there's 30 pairs of shoes and only 2 pairs of those shoes have been worn in the last 6 months. And yet every time you walk past all those shoes, you're going, oh, okay. Totality. It's all or nothing for you right now with regards to getting rid of stuff. And that will help to alleviate the exhaustion that you've been feeling. All right, on to the Scorpios. This is a long video. Listen, didn't know what I got myself into. All right, Scorpios. Again, I'm going to reiterate, this is a general reading. Please take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Anything I say shouldn't be construed as the gospel truth of advice. You are your own person, and so take responsibility for your actions. This is more just some guidance about what energies may be influencing your life right now. All right, Scorpio, there's a card sticking up. Let's pull that card. Scorpio, you have the sharing card. I love it when this card comes up. This card is a card of generosity for the Scorpios. So under this new moon, partial solar eclipse energy, you're being called to share. And you're being called to share almost with abandon. This card represents the generosity of the Queen of Wands in the traditional tarot deck. And the Queen of Wands gives without considering the consequences of her generosity, because she comes from a place of abundance. Okay, so for those of you under the sign of Scorpio, you are in a place of abundance right now. And I know that for some of you, you're going, oh, no, I'm not. You're not seeing my life. Yes, actually, I am seeing your life, because for some of you, yeah, you're totally in a place of abundance right now. You've manifested that. It's a great place. And you are being asked to share some of that abundance right now. For others under the sign of Scorpio right now, you're going, oh my God, can she not see I'm struggling to pay my bills, inflation, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I can see that. But I also can see that for those of you that are not recognizing and acknowledging the abundance in your life, it makes it impossible not only for you to be able to share, but for sharing to come into your life. Remember, I said at the very beginning of this video, part of what's going on under these energies is karma. What you put out there also comes back to you. And so if you are putting out an energy of lack of abundance, then you are also bringing in that energy or that belief that there is such a lack of abundance that nobody else is going to share with you. Do you see where I'm going with this, my Scorpios? Okay. So even if it's just practicing that little bit of gratitude each day for what you do have, then you can manifest additional abundance. And as you manifest that additional abundance, the sharing also comes. You will also not only have the capacity to be able to share, but others will also begin to share with you. Okay, it's about finding that balance. That is kind of this overall theme. If you go back and listen to all of the readings I've done for all of the signs so far, It's about karma. It's about balance. Okay. So for those of you that happen to be in a place of abundance right now, my Scorpios, you are being encouraged to share. And for those of you who are struggling to recognize your abundance right now, begin to recognize your abundance so that others can begin to share with you. Okay. All right. Sagittarius is next. Let's see what energies are coming up for Sagittarius under this new moon, partial solar eclipse. We have a card that's actually jumped out for you, my Sagittarius friends. This is the friendliness card. This corresponds to the Two of Cups in the traditional tarot. And this card, you'll notice that there are two trees. And the two trees are very close together, but they're also very different. One has yellow leaves, the other one has red leaves. But they are clearly sharing the energies above, and they will also be sharing the energies below. Okay, there is a friendliness that is happening. If you've ever seen two plants grow close together, their roots become intertwined to the point that they become one. There is a friendliness there. There is an interchange of energy. They don't have a choice but to interact. So even though they're very different above here, we're also being reminded that we're all the same. And we all share similar energies and similar nutrients and so on. And so that creates, when we recognize that we're all very much similar in the world, then we can create a friendliness. And that's what you're being called upon right now. The other thing that I'm coming up with for you, Sagittarius, with this card is that there is a call for you right now to reach out to some old friends. There's a little fruit fly flying by. Reach out to some old friends, maybe some acquaintances, and reconnect with them. That's part of the friendliness, right? And friendliness is also a call back into community. I'm sensing for some of you that there has been an isolation or a sense of isolation for quite some time. And so this card is coming up with two messages for my Sagittarius friends. One is reach out to old friends, make that connection again. The other thing is recognize and acknowledge that although there is diversity out there, we are all sharing nutrients and Mother Earth. And so there needs to be a friendliness out there. Okay, that's the message for my Sagittarius friends. All right, moving into the energy of Capricorn. For those of you born under the sign of Capricorn, these are general readings. Please take what resonates and discard the rest. And remember that these readings are not to be construed as firm, solid, 100% the gospel advice. These are energies which are influencing you right now. And so take them at face value. You are responsible for your own decisions. So for my Capricorn friends, you have the Fool. And so this card is the number 0 in the traditional tarot of the major arcana. This is the Fool card. This card is about letting go. So under the energy of this new moon, under the energy of this partial solar eclipse, my Capricorn friends, you are being called upon to let go, let loose. Now, I will say that on this card, we do have a fool literally hanging off the side of a cliff with no no safety or safety net or anything like that. I am not encouraging nor endorsing this by any means, but definitely go out there and try something new, my Capricorn friends. The other thing is that you'll notice in this card, the character is dressed in clothes that we would associate with the court jester of years gone by. And remember that the court jesters were brought in order to be able to make the king or the queen or the court in general laugh, to bring some happiness, to bring joy into those lives. And you're being called upon right now to bring joy into other people's lives. But remember that the court jester often had far more leeway with the king or the queen and the ruling class with regards to making fun or making jest of things. They had, there's a saying, you know, give somebody only enough rope that they can hang themselves with, right? So when people would come into the king's court or the queen's court, they weren't given a very long piece of rope with regards to what they were permitted to say or do while in the presence of the king or the queen. But the fool was, the court jester was, he was given an awfully long piece of rope because his purpose was to bring happiness to people. And that included, you know, sometimes poking fun, going outside of the box, going outside of the traditional of this is what is accepted. That's the energy for you right now, Capricorn. The thing is that you're not necessarily being a fool or acting foolishly. What you are actually doing is acting outside of the box right now, which to a lot of people seems foolish. But we wouldn't have cars on the road if somebody hadn't foolishly thought, let's build this metal thing and put wheels on it and put an engine inside it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's the energy under which you are acting upon right now under this new moon, my Capricorn friends, is the energy of the fool. Think outside of the box. Bring happiness and joy into other people's lives. Create, invent. That's what you're being called upon. All right. All right, my Aquarius friends out there. My Aquarians, what energies are coming to light under this one? All right, we've got a card kind of sticking up. Aquarius, ooh, we have the fighting card. Now, full disclosure, I myself am an Aquarian. So what energies are influencing the Aquas out there as well as me? The fighting card. Yeah. So for the Aquarians out there, remember this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Anything that might be portrayed as the gospel and concrete advice most certainly is not. This is a tarot card reading in order to give you an overview of the energies which may be influencing you at this time. So Aquarians, the fighting card. The energy that we are being called upon right now is that under this new moon, as I've mentioned numerous times today, there's a karmic fog currently under this new moon and this partial solar eclipse. If we haven't dealt with our stuff, I'm going to call it stuff. I want to call it a stronger word, but you know, algorithms. If we're not dealing with our stuff, then we're in fighting mode. Now, fighting mode can be both a positive and a negative, right? Sometimes we have to fight for what we want. And so for some of the Aquarius in the group, there is going to be that sense of, yeah, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight for what I want. I want justice, right? Aquarians are known for their fights for justice. So some of us are going to be kind of in that worked up, yeah, I'm going to go out there and fight for what I want. For others, we haven't dealt with our stuff and we're fighting up against that. We're bumping up against that. We're fighting up a river. We're trying to go upstream up the river because we haven't dealt with our stuff. So Aquarius, this message is twofold. For some of you, what's going to resonate is you're fighting the good fight right now. You're fighting for justice. You're fighting for something that you believe in, and that's okay. That's your path right now. For other Aquarians, this card is going to resonate more with the meaning of we haven't dealt with our stuff. And so every day can seem like a little bit of a fight. But having said that, we are under the energy of a new moon. This is a time for us to be able to release on steroids. If you didn't watch the beginning of this video, Aquarius, please go back to the beginning of the Aquarius where I talk, or sorry, but go back to the beginning of the video where I talk about the meaning of this moon. And I talk about what we would normally do under a full moon, what we would normally do under a new moon, but having an eclipse actually shifts the energy. It makes the energy an opposite. So Aquarius, normally under the new moon, we would want to manifest, but under this one, we don't. Under this one, we want to release because there is an eclipse on the moon. So for those Aquarians who resonate with the other side of this fighting card, that we feel like we're fighting upstream, set your intentions under this new moon eclipse and let go of the past. Stop fighting it. Let it go. And that's going to help you to be able to move forward, Aquarius. All right. And last but not least, we have Pisces. So Pisces, what does Pisces need to know under this new moon? All right, Pisces, clinging to the past. All right, Pisces, you are the last reading of the day. Please take what resonates with you, discard the rest as this is a general reading, and please do not take anything as the gospel advice on here. This is a general reading about energies that are influencing you right now and what you may want to be releasing. So, clinging to the past, my poor Pisces, right now, this is the energy that you are bringing into this new moon and this partial solar eclipse. As I've mentioned numerous times today, this new moon under Scorpio, there is karma. Karma is really, really strong in the air right now, in the energies that are around us and influencing us. And if we are clinging to the past, it's because we haven't dealt with our past. We haven't let it go. Now, if you have watched the whole video, I apologize if this sounds repetitive. If you've just jumped in using the timestamps, let me repeat. and this has been a theme all day today. We have an opportunity to release under this new moon. Now, normally we would use new moons for the purpose of manifesting, because once the new moon has passed, then the light of the moon begins to return and shine a light on that which we choose to bring into our lives. But an eclipse changes the energy of the phase of the moon. So where we would normally choose to manifest under a new moon, under this new moon, we want to release. We want to set our intentions to create ritual, ceremony, manifestation, whatever you want to call it. Right now is the time to let go of the past. There's also been a constant theme today about letting go of clutter. You will notice in this card that the character is completely obstructed by clutter. There's just stuff. So it's not just about letting go of past and letting go of karma. It's about quieting the chatterbox in our mind of woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it's also about letting go of physical material things as well. Okay, so that's kind of the message for you right now, Pisces, that there is a lot of good. You know, you'll notice on this card that there's sparkles and good things all around, but the character on the card can't see any of it because they're so cluttered up with their attachment to woulda, coulda, shoulda. They're attached to things and material stuff, and they're attached to a karmic past that no longer serves their highest good. So under this new moon, under the energy of this new moon, create something, my Pisces friends, to be able to let it all go. Whether that is doing a meditation several times that allows you to release things energetically, whether that means cleaning out closets and cupboards of stuff and material things, or whether that means just becoming the observer and paying attention to when your mind is chattering away at you. Oh, you could have said this. Oh, you should have said that. Oh, that went the wrong way because you did this. That blame game stops right now, Pisces. Okay, let it go. It's not serving you. Bring that to mind. Pay attention to when you're hearing that. That's really what's coming up for me really strong right now for you, my Pisces friends, is there's a lot of this chatter going on up around the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and you're being asked to release those right now under the power of this new moon. All right. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining me today. I know that this is a really long video. Please like and subscribe. As I'm still fairly new and just starting out, I would really like it if you would like the video and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you again very soon because there's another eclipse coming right up. Bye-bye.